my galactic Jedis. How are you guys doing? Apologize for the delay, but here we are on a beautiful Wednesday evening here on planet Earth in Sector 9. Okay, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that I am excited about tonight's live because it's been about a week. It's been about a week since we've been live, and it's good to be back, guys. It's good to be back from my Vegas convention. And yes, it was, it was really fun. I met a lot of interesting people who had a lot of new inventions, alternative ways of using medicine, of course, that is different than what we in the Western world have been coerced to use, of course. As you guys know, Simone, how you doing? How you guys up? Cosmo Girl, I just wanted to say hi. I'm so glad that you guys are here today. But yeah, this event was pretty cool. I will be attending another event in 2 months. I'm letting you guys know ahead of time that this next event coming up in November is called it's called Disclosure Fest, and it's being put together by Fade to Black, and I believe a lot of you could say huge people in the disclosure movement are going to be there, like Nick Pope and the guy from Ancient Aliens and so on and so forth. So this next event in November at the Luxor seems like it's going to be a really big event. So I will be presenting there. I will be breaking down the entire cosmic structure of the multiverse, going over the different types of advanced civilizations. And then, of course, give a brief history of our cosmos and the galaxy and so on and so forth. So I will be there in November as well at the Luxor. Anyhow, I would like to talk about the Emerald Tablets. All right, so the Emerald Tablets are actually shrouded in secrecy. I'm going to go ahead and read some stuff to you guys that I was able to discover regarding the Emerald Tablets. Okay, so picture yourself standing in the heart of ancient Egypt, surrounded by colossal pyramids and enigmatic hieroglyphs. In a hidden chamber, you uncover a set of tablets unlike anything you've ever seen. The Emerald Tablets, crafted from a luminous emerald-like substance, emit an otherworldly glow. Legend has it that they contain the very secrets of creation, whispered into existence by celestial beings eons ago. The secret of secrets is said to be contained in these tablets, okay? As you touch the first tablet, you feel a surge of energy, as if it's alive with cosmic wisdom. These tablets are not mere stone and script. They are living repositories of esoteric knowledge. The secrets they guard is not a mere whisper. It's a cosmic roar, a resonance that echoes through time and space, beckoning those who dare to seek the mysteries of the universe. All right, so what are the Emerald Tablets? And who were they written by? Of course, according to the Emerald Tablets themselves, and according to what conventional history says, is that they were written by no other than Thoth the Atlantean. Now let's dive deep into Thoth the Atlantean. All right, so Thoth the Atlantean supposedly existed in Atlantean times and even after the Atlantean cataclysm. And according to the records that were presented to us, he was the entity who was responsible for the esoteric wisdom and knowledge that we know today in a post-Atlantean era. All right, so he was the personage who supposedly was able to access a lot of the ancient mystery school teachings, and was able to again publish it or put it forth in a series of what is known as 12 tablets. Okay, now when you study other records, it actually the story sounds a little different. Okay, so let's take into account that there were other different epochs of human civilizations, advanced human civilizations that existed even before Atlantean times. Okay, and there is evidence and record that civilizations have actually been on this planet for millions upon millions upon millions of years, okay, as the truth is now being restored to the earth. So what if I tell you that Thoth himself took information that already existed prior to Atlanteans that could be traceable back to Lemurian times. And if you want to go further than that, you could actually trace the original, you could say, records known as the CDT plates that were depositories left behind by the Emerald Order when they still were on the Earth during the Hyperborean epoch or the Hyperborean age. So we could say that the original tablets or the original CDT plates could actually be traced back to millions upon millions of years ago before Atlantis and Lemuria, back to the age of Hyperborea, when the Celestials, our true ancestors, roamed the Earth, okay? So this was around a time where the original angelic humans seeding, the 12th strand Terranusian race, was in existence, okay? Who are our real ancestors, by the way, okay? So the Terranusian race was the race that was pretty much the divine seeding that took place upon the Earth during the second root race known as Hyperborea. Before the second root race, we had the Polarian root race, which was an advanced spiritual race that was not yet physical, but luminal, okay? So this was approximately 30 to 40 million years ago, okay? That's how long civilizations have been here. So in this process known as descent, right, from spirit or luminous state of reality into a solid, more physical condensed state of reality, that's what gave birth to the Hyperborean age. So that's why in our original physical, our ancestors rather, in their original physical makeup, they were immortals, okay? They were immortals and they lived forever, okay? So I'm starting to understand that Thoth had access to the original CDT plates of the Emerald Order, hence the Emerald Tablets. So he did obviously call them the Emerald Tablets because he took that information from the Emerald original manuscripts that were on holographic disc known as the CDT plates, okay? Those plates were actually deposited into our Earth during the second root race or Hyperborean age, known as the land of Hyperborea. And I believe that the negative of fallen angels, also known as the reptilians, actually sought to seek those records, and that's how I ended up getting into the hands of Thoth. And if we could also relate Thoth to Enki as one of the sons of Enki, obviously Thoth was a reptilian. He had reptilian in him, and of course he was a quarter celestial, perhaps Syrian, but he was mostly reptilian. He was one of the sons of Enki, and if you don't believe me, he was the same figure that also influenced the Mesoamerican cultures, the original Mayans, okay? So he came over to the Americas, okay, and he established some sort of ritual practice with the Mayans, or the ancient indigenous people of Mesoamerica. And this is what I believe that he did. He corrupted them, and that's how human sacrifices came into existence in Mesoamerica, thousands and thousands of years ago, because of what Thoth did. Thoth was known as Quetzalcoatl to the indigenous people of Mesoamerica, right, to the Aztecs. He was known as Kukulkan, all right, the same son of Enki, who stole information from the original Emerald, again, holographic disc that could be traceable back to the age of Hyperborea. Okay, so what are some of the things that are revealed in the supposedly restored Emerald tablets? Well, first of all, Thoth only had access to 11 CDT plates. For whatever reason, I believe that the Guardian races prohibited from having access to the 12th CDT holographic disc because if he would have had access to that, they would have pretty much, they would have sucked our reality into the, phantom matrix time looped anomaly that the negative entities through the black hole technologies have been trying to suck our reality into. So I strongly believe that Thoth was an infiltration, okay? And he only took, yes, he took a lot of the esoteric wisdom regarding our true essence as spiritual luminous beings, and how we were able to become who we are today as a result of this descent. But at the same time, he left a lot of information that was secretly meant for members of his lineage, or cabal, as we call them, who took some of that information in order to create what we call today the New World Order. So the New World Order isn't something new. You know, this is a concept that was actually developed by the forces that took over after the fall of Atlantis, as we entered the new era, okay? And a lot of this information was encrypted in the Emerald tablets that were given by Thoth. So apparently there is those tablets, it's a lot of confusion there, because they took a lot of spiritual knowledge from the original CDT plates, and they added their own information in order for it to be used by the Babylonian bloodlines of the Cabal families. Okay, guys? So what are some of the things that were revealed as far as like the ancient mystery school teachings? Well, of course, you know, one of the things that was revealed is the fact that there are different planes of reality, different dimensions. And so this information isn't nothing new, okay? They also revealed the 7 Hermetic Principles. Of course, you know, the Greeks believed that Thoth was Hermes, or the reincarnated Hermes Trismegistus, all right, which was supposed to be a combination of Hermes, the son of Zeus, and Thoth, reincarnated in Greek times. Okay, so that's what they wanted us to believe. And some of the information therein was about what? Initiation rites, how to achieve immortality through the power of the secrets of soul regeneration, and how to integrate the other subtle aspects of ourselves into the physical, right? Like our energy body, our astral body, our mental causal body, and then of course our 5 energetic vehicles known as the Akka body of light, the electromagnetic body of light, the Zorha body of light, what is it called? The Gematrian body of light, and then of course the overself Christ conscious body of light, or the overself, which is known as the overself Christ conscious. But they also twisted some of that information. So a lot of the esoteric knowledge was actually only left for a selective few, while the majority of the people didn't have access to this information. So this is how the modern day secret societies drew information from. This is how they came into existence, because of what was revealed in those esoteric mystery school teachings that came from the Emerald tablets. Okay, now nobody has access to the real Emerald tablets, by the way. The only tablets that we have access to are just basically the tablets that reveal common esoteric knowledge, such as the 7 Hermetic Principles, talking about Venus and its relationship to the Earth as higher spheres of reality. Of course, astrology, the natal chart, and all that stuff. And we read about this stuff in, other people's works, like Manly P. Hall. He kind of sums it all up in The Secret Knowledge of All Ages. Madame Helena Blavatsky, again, another person who delved into the esoteric knowledge of the Emerald tablets and the Hermetic Principles to create her own school of study known as Theosophy. So what we're seeing here is just a lot of we're seeing they're trying to reinvent the wheel of something that had already existed in prior times, okay? And everybody's adding their own story to this information. So throughout history, right, you had 2 fields of study. You have had the inner mysteries, or the esoteric tradition that was given to a selective few, in terms of members of secret societies. And then you had the exoteric tradition that was given to the masses, right? The people that were supposed to only have a general understanding about our reality while hiding the inner esoteric wisdom. Well, some of the, principles that have been revealed by the Emerald tablets are, for instance, the 7 principles or the 7 Hermetic Principles. And I'm sure that, at one point you guys probably read about this or heard about this, but this is, again, they're taking real spiritual universal laws and they're mixing it with other things. But I do want to cover the 7 Hermetic Principles, because these are actually universal laws that govern our overall reality. For instance, there is the principle of materialism, Imagine a universe where thoughts are tangible, where the act of thinking shapes the very reality around you. The Emerald Tablets describe a realm where the mind is the ultimate alchemist, where thoughts are the philosopher's stone, and where imagination is the brush that paints the canvas of existence. Within these talents, you find the blueprints of unlocking the boundless potential of your own mind. Okay, so there is the principle of correspondence, okay? According to the principle of correspondence, stand beneath the starry sky and see constellations align with patterns in your own life. The Emerald Tablets introduce you to a fantastical web of correspondence where galaxies mirror the movements of atoms and the language of the cosmos is encoded in the pattern of nature. As you decode these cosmic correspondence, you realize that you hold the keys to unlocking the hidden truths. So these are accurate principles that govern all reality, guys. Okay, we are, our life is determined in a way how we implement these principles on a daily basis, whether you know it or not, by default or through intention. And then you have the principle of vibration, which is the secret of what? Of manifestation, right? Everybody talks about the law of attraction, but nobody talks about the law of vibration, which is synonymous. It says, close your eyes and listen. Beyond the audible, there is a symphony of vibrations that shape reality itself. The Emerald Tablets reveal that the universe hums with a vibrational harmony, a celestial orchestra conducted by the hand of creation. You are not merely a spectator, but a musician in this cosmic symphony capable of attuning our own vibrations to the rhythms of the cosmos, right? All that stuff is accurate. Again, Thoth drew from an already existing spiritual, a holographic disc known as the CDT plates, okay? And what he did is he just added his own twist. But these principles are accurate. These principles are very true. They're very real. Another one is called the principle of polarity. I'm going to read only two more, just so you guys could have a glimpse of some of these spiritual laws. Okay, so in a realm where light dances eternally with shadow, you discover the art of balance in the Emerald Tablets. Polarities are not opposing forces, but two facets of a divine dance. The tablets unveil a world where day and night, life and death, love and fear are threads in the same tapestry. Embrace the fantastical notion. The equilibrium is the true magic of existence. And it makes a lot of sense, guys. We do live in a state of duality where everything has an opposite. And that is part of the overall plan of the infinite creator in order to expand into further, consciousness itself, into further expansion. Okay, the last principle I want to go over is the principle of rhythm. Step into a world where time flows, where time flows like a river, carrying the tides of existence. The Emerald Tablets unveil the majestic cycles of life, a cosmic heartbeat that synchronizes all creation. As you align with these rhythms, you become a time traveler, dancing to the celestial rhythms of the universe and unlocking doors to worlds beyond imagination. Okay, so, the Hermetic Principles are also taught in the Kabbalah. They're also taught according to, in Rosicrucianism. They're also taught in the mystery school teachings of the Golden Dawn. They're also taught, believe it or not, to an extent in Scientology. So these are universal principles that could be either used for good or evil, guys, okay? And the powers of this world, I want to say the X, those that used to govern the rings of this world, the powers that were, right? Because their time is up. They use these principles at the expense of the masses for millennium. And that's how they were able to keep the large majority of people under control and under manipulation. And that explains why the elites have been ruling our world for thousands of years, because they took that same spiritual knowledge that existed prior to Atlantean times, and they kind of twisted it in their own way, inverted everything, including the pentagram. Believe it or not, guys, the 5-pointed star depicts ourselves as it's symbolic to our ability to use 100% of our capacity. That's what the 5-pointed star means. And yes, it is used in circles of magic You can either use it for white magic, which is good, or you can use it for evil. And then, of course, in Satanism, what they do is they invert it. They invert the five-pointed star to create the, what is it called? The inverted pentagram, which represents the goat. Okay, so again, a lot of this stuff has been inverted. The swastika, which symbolizes the four directions, the four elements, the four quadrants of the universe, was also inverted. It used to be a spiritual symbolism, and it was inverted by the Nazis, okay, in order to use it, for malicious things. So all I'm trying to say is that the spiritual knowledge, the esoteric tradition, is not evil. The occult is not evil. All the terminology occult just means hidden. Knowledge that has been hidden from mankind by the elites. Well, it is my honor to say that all of this information is now available to us so that we can begin to cultivate our own spiritual powers, all right, where we become sovereign, where we become our own individual. All right, guys? So, with that have said, let's open it up for questions and answers. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the chat and pick some of the questions. One second, I'm trying to find the little cursor here. Can you guys all do me a favor and hit the like, please? Smash that like button. I would appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see. Where is this thing? I remember changing to the rock and watch my moose sunk, says Linda. Okay, so Linda is having memories of being in Lemuria. It was so dark and I heard us crying, she says. Yes, there is an organic calendar that is in alignment with the universal laws and of course with the movements of planet stars in reference to the galactic core. And that is known as the Mayan calendar. But it is 12 years behind, guys. So 2012 is really 2024. Okay? Again, somebody asked, did King Arthur protect the Emerald Tablets? No. King Arthur did not protect the Emerald Tablets. But, however, King Arthur was of the lineage of the original Magi lineage, who were the protectors of the original holographic disc, where even the Emerald Tablets draw their knowledge from. And that is known as the CDT plates. Okay? You're welcome, guys. You're so welcome. And I appreciate you guys being here at this time. We have 404 watching. Beautiful. Oh. All right, so I'm looking for questions. All right, so Andrea Green says, Ishmael, can you share that on your wall so we can make a copy or share it? Oh, you mean what I just read? Sure, yeah, I could probably do that. I'll talk to my tech guys, see how we could do that. So that way you guys could, or even if you just type in on your browser, there's the 7 Hermetic Principles. Yes, or they're also taught in the Kabbalion. So again, guys, esoteric knowledge is not necessarily evil. It's just spiritual knowledge that can be used either for good or for evil, okay? I mean, think about it. The law of attraction, right? Which corresponds to the law of vibration. You have the power to create your own reality, and that has been established, right? Or at least it's been proven to be a fact. Through the power of your mind and the way you choose to feel, you could contribute you contribute to whatever reality you are actually succumbing to, right? Through your own thoughts. Well, you could either use it for good or evil. Okay, and what I mean by that is through your negative thinking, for those that are still thinking negative, you're actually creating negative scenarios and circumstances by default of not really understanding that your thoughts and emotions are agents of creation. Okay. I'm looking for questions. All right, so spiritual 13 or yeah, spiritual 13a agape 23 says Lucifer is not Satan, right? Yes, correct. It is not. They're two different entities. Lucifer is not Satan at all. They're two different entities. Yes, they have changed us from the organic calendar, and unfortunately, we've been operating under a synthetic calendar imposed by the Greco-Roman Empire. Yes, yes, they always invert things. Neo says they stole the good and made it evil. Exactly. And yes, Joanna says we are taking our power back. Absolutely. We are rising. The indigo race is rising, guys, as prophesied and predicted in the ancient oracles. Okay? Let's see. Yeah, we're definitely going to be entering the age of magic. It's going to be a magical era. Songwriter says, you believe Satan was Lucifer's lieutenant. I would say Satan was more like a general. Mhm. Yes, Regina Kelliam says, we are reversing the curse. Absolutely, we are. No, Tristan Early, there won't be a pop quiz. Thank you for being here. You're always here. So is Radiant Guardians, Cosmo Grow, Neo, Joanna. Um, who else is here? Elizabeth. Elizabeth K is here. Okay, she has a question. How do you most effectively shield, protect yourself from black magic and negative stuff? Oh, that is a very good question. Thank you for asking, Elizabeth. Okay, guys, so the best way to keep yourself indivisible and untouchable is through daily meditation, daily grounding, and daily putting yourself in a bubble in a shield of protection every time you wake up and right before you go to sleep. And then saying, if you want to be verbal about it, you could also state out loud, I do not contest or I do not allow any negative entities that are not in alignment with my highest good to enter my presence. And if you say that over and over and over, those entities have to pretty much abide by your spoken word. So if you're constantly praying, which is another form of meditation, right? Meditation is when you're receiving, praying is when you're asking. I mean, if you guys do this on a daily basis, you guys are keeping your vibration high. The black magic only works if you're vibrating at a low frequency. So by maintaining a high frequency, guys, there's no way that you're going to have any black magic attacks. So daily meditation, daily grounding, and then also protecting yourself in a white sphere or a blue bubble of light. All right, Elizabeth K says, how do you most... Okay, I've already read that. Let's see, where is the cursor here for the mouse? Did I lose it again? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, this is a good question by CA. When is the solar flash and what's going to happen on 9/23/23? Well, a lot of people are speculating that something big is about to happen, in 3-4 days, on the Saturday, on the 23rd? Well, guys, I've been telling you for over a month now that the biggest CME ever is scheduled to hit sometime around this date on the 23rd, which is this Saturday. So, as a result of that, it is best to, again, have 2 weeks worth of food, water, power generator in case the grid goes down, because anything could happen. Some people are speculating that it could be EAS or a EBS coming in, and then some people are speculating that sometime in October. This is where it gets confusing. They're saying that there's going to be some sort of like, I don't know, military tribunals, right? Where all of a sudden the white hats arrest all the black hats, finally. And then some people are saying, and this is what I've been hearing, that there's going to be some sort of 5G signal that is going to be like a shockwave, and then we have to turn off our phones. I think people were telling me that Jason Shurka put out a video telling everybody to turn their phones off on the 4th of October due to some, they're trying to activate the, poison in people's bodies. It took the poison. So the best way to shield ourselves from anything, again, it seems like these parallel Earths are taking place where, depending on which parallel Earth you're from or you're at, you will experience one or the other. EBS, which is the fall of the Cabal, or what they call the zombie apocalypse. Hopefully not the zombie apocalypse, right? Not in our timeline. Come on, guys, let's control this reality. All right. We don't contest to another lockdown. We don't contest to a shockwave emanated by 5G to activate the poison in people's bodies. We don't contest to none of that. All right. We have the power to offset all of that. All right, so Sylvia, thank you for the donation, sister. Hi, Ishmael. Will we turn in our 30s instantly or gradually? Okay, so I think you're referring to when the solar flash takes place. Yes, our bodies are going to regenerate to looking back to what we looked like when we were 30 years old. So that's going to be awesome, guys. We're going to be looking younger. And thank you for the donation, sister. Marilyn, how you doing, Marilyn? Thank you so much for the donation, Marilyn, and for the heart. Let me know if you have a question, sister. All right, Just, how you doing, Just Jay? Thank you so much for the donation, brother. And your question is, hello, Ishmael. I'm taking a computer programming class, and they will be expecting us to use AI helper tools at some point. Should I avoid this entirely, or is it okay for me to dabble into this? Well, I mean, I would say to stay away from it, but I don't know, this is a very complicated situation to be in. Are you taking this for some sort of degree? Are you trying to finish your master's? Are you trying to get a degree in computers, programming? I mean, it all depends on the end result as to why you're taking this class. But if you're just taking it for fun, just to, learn how to program computers, I would say do not use the AI helper if you can. But it's up to you ultimately, it's ultimately up to you, brother. I'm trying to figure out if by using an AI helper tool, the whole point here is to stay away from AI. Just stay away from AI. That's my advice to you, brother. All right, so question from Universe Guardian. Ishmael, what about the young starseeds that are older? I have younger sisters that are starseeds. Well, if they're young, what they're going to do is they're just not going to age as fast. So let's just assume that they're 15 years old, 20, 25. All they're going to do is they're still going to age, but very slowly, and then they're going to stop. Once they hit 30, well, actually, aging isn't going to exist, guys. We're not going to be selling this idea of celebrating your birthday every year. Believe it or not, it's part of the old program to make us older, all right? Because it keeps you It keeps your awareness fixated on the idea that you're aging. By celebrating your birthday every year is a reminder that you're getting older. If we eliminate our birthdays, imagine if you stop celebrating your birthday for 10 years, I guarantee you that you're going to look 5 years younger. I guarantee you, because a lot of it is here, guys. This is why we age. It's what's in our subconscious mind. So if we're constantly telling our subconscious mind, well, it's about that time of year, I'm now going to be turning this, what you're doing is you're telling yourself you're getting older. And remember, the chat in your subconscious mind is what's literally, through epigenetics, signaling genes in your body to either divide faster and keep that regeneration process so that you don't age, or slow down the division of genes, slow down the regeneration of genes, right? So it's all here, guys. So yeah, I believe that in the 5D Earth, birthdays are not going to exist. Keep losing my little cursor here, a little arrow from my mouse. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, I guess somebody's birthday's today. Natalie Ann says, today's my birthday. Happy birthday, Natalie Ann, and just know that we are immortal, you know. It's just another number. But I still want to wish you a happy birthday. Exactly, it's just another day. See, I stopped celebrating my birthday a long time ago. I don't even think about it. People have to literally remind me it's my birthday, either through a text or a message. They say happy birthday, Ishmael, and I look and I'm like, oh, it's my birthday. I guess it is. So if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't even remember my own birthday, guys. That's how abstract my minded I am. I don't even pay attention to the simplest things. Yeah, I like this. How old you are by MJF says, how old you are is really how young you feel. That's right. It all boils down to how young you feel inside. Oh, okay. Chelsea says, will there be background people in the new Earth with no soul? Absolutely not. No, no, no. In order to be in the fifth dimensional reality, you have to have a soul. You have to have a soul. Simone, how you doing, Simone? Thank you for the donation, sister. Hi, Ishmael. Does the 19th dimension exist? Yes, we are. Believe it or not, guys, we are living in a participatory universe where we ourselves, in a higher state of reality, are participating in the creation of new universes, and hence, as a result of that, new dimensions are being developed. So, in a future sense of time, as we enter the sixth harmonic universe that occupies dimensions 16, 17, and 18, you could say in a future cycle of time, as we enter the seventh harmonic universe, we're going to have dimensions 19, 20, and 21. And we're dealing with eternity. It's an eternal process. So yes, in a future cycle, in a future existence, absolutely, there is the 19th dimension. But as far as it being tangible right now, no. But it does exist in in a new cycle of creation. And then the other part of your question is, I was told by my higher self that I am from there, but consciously vibrating from the 12th dimension for my soul mission. Sounds so out there. Thank you. All right, so chances are, that you, Simone, could perhaps be a time traveler from deep in the future, where there is harmonic universe number 7, occupying dimensions 19, 20, and 21, and you have traveled all the way back 3 cosmic cycles back into our existence. And then, yes, I believe that you could be from the 12th dimension. As I mentioned before in other lives, some of us down here are from the 12th dimension, which means you are Elohim. You are from the order of Elohim, or from the realms of the Elohim. Okay? All right, so Janine has a question. Hello, Ishmael. Can you explain how we will reunite with our loved ones who have passed? And how will our pets go with us and children? All right, so for those that have already passed within the last decade, they're already in the fifth dimensional Earth, looking 30. Okay, looking 30. They have regenerated. So when the bifurcation takes place, and we shift into the Terra Earth where they already are, that's how you're going to be able to recontinue your relationship in the new Earth, and life's going to be much better. None of this evil, corruption, division, stuff that we see in the third dimensional matrix is going to exist anymore. And yes, all pets go to heaven. Have you guys ever heard of that term? So yes, we could equate heaven to the fifth dimensional Earth, where everything's in balance, guys. Everything's in balance. And also remember, guys, that we're going from one side of the spectrum, from the age of darkness into the age of light. And so that's why everything's going to be more balanced and more harmonious. And justice will prevail, of course. The dark forces are going to be put to, you could say they're going to be put on hold for at least 1,000 years. And then at the end of the millennium, we're going to have one last battle. And that's it. After that, we start a new cosmic cycle as we go into the 13th creation and are part of now harmonic universe number 6. Okay, so let's see any more questions. Oh, we have tons of questions. Are Christians hearing? Okay, are Christians, this is from Neo. My brother Neo says, are Christians hearing from Palladians thinking? From Palladians thinking it's Jesus. I don't know if I understand your question, brother, but I'm assuming you're asking if Christians are receiving messages from the Pleiades, and if Jesus was a Pleiadian. No, Jesus was a Syrian. He was Elohim. He came from the 12th dimension. All right? And yes, that could be the case. The angels in the Bibles are synonymous to the celestials of light, right? Or the positive ETs that are in a non-physical form, non-flesh and blood, but operate with higher, bodies with higher light quotient. So yes, that could be the case. The angels of the Bible are exactly the positive ETs that we see today. They're one and the same. They're not flesh and blood. They are beings of light, vibrating at different frequencies, occupying different avatars that are less subtle and less denser than our own. That's right. We will see our pets again soon, guys, in the new Earth. They're all waiting there for us. Yes, Chelsea says, we will be training in the millennium for our battle in the future against the Phantom Matrix and the AI Overlord and Enki and the cyborgs and all those negative super soldiers that are being created by these unauthorized unauthorized genetic programs. That's the word, unauthorized genetic programs. Yes, we're going to be training in the millennium to use our full capacity and activate the God Source gene to its fullest capacity. But during the millennium, we're going to be using different, we're going to be using more percentage than what we're using now. Thank you, Tristan, for the 1111. I love that symbol. Thank you, thank you. I mean, I love that number. 1111 is definitely a starseed number. Okay, so Azuled Elf wants to know, what do you think about an asteroid hitting the Earth in 2027, 2029? Well, by then, we're going to have the technology. And even if we don't have the technology, which we do in the private sector, the allies of humanity that are overseeing the ascension process, right, a successful new Earth, are going to deflect it. Okay, nothing bad is happening. Let's get our mindset off of the catastrophic, off of the destructive perspective of future cataclysms, because that's not going to happen in the new ascending positive timeline, guys. All right, so Justin S, how you doing, brother? Thank you for the donation. I think we should all visualize the solar flash in our meditations every day, and maybe it will happen this year. You know what, guys? It's been proven over and over by the Maharishi effect that when we concentrate our collective mental projections, we could actually affect reality through the quantum realm. Absolutely. So if we could all feel what it's like and imagine what it's like to live in a new heaven on earth, and if we could hold on to that every day and be mindful of it throughout the day, well, chances are we're probably going to speed up the process. All right, this is another good question or comment, but I want to read it out loud. Um, by Mutable Sag, is it Mutable Sag? Well, says we still have babies. Actually, we have more in shorter time. Yes, that's right. The gestation period to give birth is going to last. It's going to be shorter, actually. No cycles for your sisters, and intimacy feels 1,000 times better. Absolutely, guys. Intimacy in the fifth dimension is not body to body. It's spirit to spirit, which is the ultimate orgasm. So you're going to be you're going to be making love to people's spirits, not their bodies. It's going to be spiritual orgasms. Ishmael, will age regression happen instantly? Yes, I've already read that by Sylvia. Age regression will happen instantly. Okay, so this is another good one. Andromeda Daisy says, what would you consider 9D ETs compared to 12D ETs? Okay, so the difference is when you're in the 9th D, you're not fully, you haven't fully reached the universal awareness or one with everything, as in 12D. So we're still ascending. To give you an example, some of the intelligences that are considered 9D collectives are the Andromedans, Sirians, Arcturians, and then there's also the counterpart to the Sirians that are 12D. But yes, once the difference is this: when we reach 12D, we become liquid light. In 9th D, we're still using some form of etheric matter, which is not yet purely liquid light. So we have to go all the way to the 12th D to become pure liquid light. And then that way we are able to manifest any form. We could be everywhere at once. We could be one with the wave and yet still maintain our individuality as in terms of being a particle at the same time. So that's the difference between 9D and 12D. 12D is also completion, is us reuniting with our God self. That's when we create universes through our own thought projections. So through our own thought projections, once we reach the 12D, we will be creating universes. And also that's equivalent to what I call a type 4 population universal civilization, which oversee the development of galaxies. So at that point, at 12D, we don't even intervene in galaxies unless we need to. However, ETs from the 9th D are equivalent to what is known as population 3 galactic systems, and they operate at the center of galaxies, overseeing and controlling the fate of galaxies. So in this case, they kind of are the overseers of like the Galactic Alliance and of course Federation of Worlds or any other interstellar alliance. But in a sense, yeah, you could still rebel against the one in the 9th D. There's still a chance of polarizing, unfortunately. All right, so somebody says, have you ever heard about the 6 root race? Kent Dunn keeps mentioning them. Absolutely. Okay, so there are a total of 7 root races in which the evolutionary consciousness of our species or humanity evolves during 7 different epochs. So right now we are in the Aryan, we're finishing the Aryan root race, which is the 5th seeding or the 5th age. Before that we were experiencing the Atlantean root race, which was the fourth epoch or the fourth age. Before that was the Lemurian. Before that was the Hyperborean. And then going back to the beginning of time, when we were a luminous spiritual race without physical forms, we were known as the Polarians. So what's next after the Aryan root race is known as the Meruvius root race, which is known as the sixth root race. And then the sixth root race is exactly what Ken Dunn is talking about. It is going to be the emergence of the indigo race. And that's what we are, guys. The starseeds of the earth today, which are 70 million plus strong now on the planet, still in the minority, still a small percentage. However, we are pretty much what the ancient esoteric wisdom calls the rise of the sixth root race, which is going to be a golden age. All right. So we're ending the Aryan root race, and we're going to be beginning the sixth root race. So that's known as the indigo race, and it is going to be characterized by the rise of Homo luminous, humans that are enlightened, that are illuminated. Right. So that's what the sixth root race is about. It's about the emergence of us, the indigo violet race. Spiritual man, in other words, being restored back to where we were before we were downgraded by Enki during the times of Atlantis. And it doesn't end there. There's going to be a final root race known as the Uchechi root race, and that is known as the seventh root race. But it's believed that the seventh root race begins at the end of the millennium when we defeat the AI god. Now, to give you guys an example, what makes the sixth root race different than the seventh root race, the fifth root race, is that the sixth root race, which is us emerging, it has been predicted that these are going to be people with literally supernatural abilities. And I've been talking about that, guys. I've been talking about becoming superhuman. So that's what the sixth root race is all about. It's the age of superhumans, the age of heroes on Earth. Let's see. All right, so we have 525 watching. Thank you. All right, so Tony Lopez is asking, Ishmael, can you give details on the realms of eternity, such as 13D to 18D, the harmonic universe 5 and 6? Well, those are the planes of reality or spheres that are eternal. So eternity begins from the 13D and up. The 12D is the in-between point between the eternal realms and the finite realms of time and space experimentations. So it's hard to describe what the realms of eternity are, because they're nothing compared to any of what we see here in this reality. I would say it is a state of reality of pure luminous light, where beings or entities are not only one with everything in the cosmos, but are yet also individuals, like the billions of cells in your body. And it is also believed that these entities that live in the realms of eternity could manifest any physical form they want. They are considered pure sovereign, and they are totally free. And all they do is just watch and observe. That's it, guys. All they do is just watch and observe. And they also have the ability to transfer their consciousness into any living entity that exists within the 15-dimensional time matrix. So they could one of them could literally be experiencing what I'm experiencing right now on this live, just by experiencing what I'm feeling through my body and through your bodies as well, simultaneously, all at the same time. That's how much brain power they are computing, and it's all organic, right? It is all organic, beyond AI. So at that level of reality, guys, we are literally we have access to infinite intelligence. We are processing information at the speed of light all throughout the multiverse. Wherever we could be everywhere at once. You see, that is inherent in our destiny. That is part of our divine birthright, to become like gods, immortal, to know everything and have access to universal awareness and infinite intelligence. That's why I don't believe in using AI to have access to all this stuff. It is just a mimicking. It is a democracy, actually, of our inner software. Oh, this is another good one from Deirdre Guana. Is the Ark of the Covenant on Earth or in another realm or dimension? What was a monoatomic gold inside? Excuse me. Okay, so the Ark of the Covenant is it's not a physical artifact. It's actually a spiritual thing that can only be accessed by certain people that have a type of frequency. It only answers to a type of frequency, and it has to do with the halls of Amenti and how to access, other realms beyond the Earth. It's actually pretty much the portal that opens up the 12-dimensional stargates. So it is related or associated with Stargate technology. That's what the Ark of the Covenant is. And that's why it was entrusted to the original Israelites, or the original people of the 12 tribes of Israelite, who were the people that carried the highest concentration of the angelic humanoids, right? Of the angelic seed that existed in Atlantean times. So we so we are fractals of the monad, guys. The monad is what we are when we embody, full consciousness. There we go. Yes, that is true. Renee Velasco says, Ishmael, didn't you say that there are different realities of us existing now? If so, is this what you mean about already being gods? Absolutely. Yes, that's correct. In our highest state of reality, we are already one with everything. We are creators. We are in our immortal state. So yes, there are different versions of ourselves where we have the abilities of the gods. So that is correct. Remember, guys, we are multidimensional beings. There is no separation between the celestial archetypes and ourselves. We are fractals of the celestial archetypes. We just have to learn how to access and integrate those versions of ourselves that exist in these higher realities, which will in turn unlock our dormant DNA. So joyful, thank you so much for the donation. Ishmael, what if family members are dead for more than 10 years? All right, so from what I understand is that the harmonic convergence took place in 1987, which means that that's when astronomers were able to detect that our solar system was entering a very high belt radiation, a very highly charged zone in our galaxy known as the photon belt. And so I would say it goes beyond 10 years. I think that ever since we entered the photon belt, that people who have died since 1987 till 2023 have already entered the new Earth. Okay, so that's my opinion, but I believe it goes beyond the 10 years, back to 1983. Okay, Joy? Hopefully that answers your question. Because that's when we first started entering the photon belt, or signs that we were. I'm looking for questions that are general questions that most people have in mind. Yes, this is true. Songwriter says the elites are so afraid of the Flash, and that is why they are pathetically trying to block the sun. Absolutely. Yep. Gates, first name Bill, is responsible for that. He's trying to deflect the sun rays, but to no avail, of course. Yes, Elizabeth, I strongly believe in unlocking dormant DNA. I believe in that internal technology that correlates to organic living technology, which is the technology used by positive beings of light. Okay, that's where I'm trying to gear us and as many people as possible, as opposed to external technology, which eventually leads to the degradation of the human's consciousness, soul, and as a result of that, the emergence with technology, which leads to transhumanism. Transhumanism is nothing new, guys. It is a Luciferian path that exists throughout the many universes, all right? Many races out there, not just the Greys or the Zetas, that have lost their soul and their ability to have, spiritual connection to universal consciousness and awareness, are all coming back in time trying to save their dying race because of transhumanism. Let's not repeat the same mistakes that they did. All right, so Elena S wants to know, what do you think about astrology? I think it's a real science. We do live in a universe, right, that is in constant motion, right? Another hermetic principle, everything is a constant state of vibration and movement, right? You have planets revolving around stars, you have stars revolving around greater stars, and then that revolves around the galactic core, and then the galaxies revolve around universes, or the center of universes, and then in turn the universes is also revolving around the super universe, and then of course the super universes are all revolving around the central universe. So because everything is in a constant state of rotation, astrology is real. Everything is determined by the alignments of planets and references to the stars, galaxies, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I do believe astrology is a real spiritual science. It's not pseudoscience, guys. It's real. I lost my cursor again, my little mouse thing. 1 second. Drink some tea here. 1 second. This is a special type of tea. It's an anti-inflammatory tea. Oh, there we go. I found it. All right, so Tolone says, "Hi Ishmael, I heard that when we entered the fifth dimension or entered, our families from the creation are going to help us. Our families from the creation." What's your thoughts about this? Well, our celestial families are the family of light. Our family of light, yes. They're already helping us. They're assisting us from behind the scenes, guys. And yes, when we do enter the fifth dimensional reality, it's going to be one great galactic and cosmic reunion. I'm looking for a good question here. I mean, all your questions are good, but I'm looking for a question that most people have in mind. That's right. In the fifth dimension, we will no longer need or use language. It'll be pure telepathy. However, verbatim language, phonetic, what is it called? I forget the name. But the use of verbiage and language will still exist in the fourth dimension, guys. All right, so somebody says, I've been seeing entities. Okay, Hope Rising. Hope Rising says, I've been seeing entities in the clouds. What is this? Are you talking about like how the clouds make certain shapes and forms? Because if that's the case, I've seen a few reels on social media that, sometimes they form in a shape of an angel or in the shape of a flying bird. Um, Bear in mind that a lot of these interdimensional beings, um, they camouflage themselves through the clouds. So these could perhaps be, beings that are coming from the fourth harmonic universe that are like 38 feet tall. Not, again, guys, the more we go into higher realities, the taller we become. So, the positive giants, we used to be giant, by the way. In the Polarian age, we were luminous beings. We didn't have physical form until we ended up in the Hyperborean age. But even then, we were giants. All of us were tall. All right, guys. Lemurians were also tall. Atlanteans were 7 to 8 feet tall. So it seems like the more we've been digressed in genetics, the shorter we have become. All right. So, and also the more strands of DNA we use, the taller we get. All right. So when we go into 12 strands, we're going to obviously be 7, 8 feet tall. Okay, Gabrielle F says, Ishmael, can you tell us if Betelgeuse, so she's referring to the star system of Betelgeuse. And yes, there is a star system called Betelgeuse, by the way. Okay, so you want to know if Betelgeuse going supernova has anything to do with the solar flash? Absolutely not. No, no. Betelgeuse is actually located in the Orion constellation, so it has no effect on us, guys. All right, so Sylvia Vital wants to know if I'm going to turn off my phone on the 4th of October. You know what, guys? I know that it's, what is it? Jason Shirka's telling everybody to turn your phone off because there's going to be some sort of like a 5G hit on people's, poison. But, I mean, I really have to dig more into that to see if that's really what's going to be happening on the 4th of October. So I'll tell you guys what. I'm going to go ahead and go deeper on that and see what kind of information the Galactics want to share with me about the 4th of October, and then I'll go ahead and let you guys know if that's something we should do or not. Okay? Yeah, I like that. Julianne Ben says, do not buy into fear. So, again, guys, by believing certain things, you could actually um, put energy into that reality, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to put energy into a reality that is going to be the equivalent of what they call the zombie apocalypse. Hopefully, it's not going to happen in our reality. I don't think it is. Honestly, I don't think it is. All right, so Renee Velasco wants to know if I think that elections are still going to happen. Um, it all depends on what happens in the next 2 months, guys. If EBS goes through and we witness the fall of the cabal, then obviously we're not going to see no election taking place next year. Because that will ultimately give Mr. T 45 the executive position, right? As if he never ceased being president. So I don't think, depending on what happens in the next 2 months, guys. I mean, October is going to, they say that the end of September, the beginning of October, stuff's going to be going down. That's what they're saying. But again, I don't want to give any absolutes, but it's always best to be ready, guys. Anything could happen. Somebody asked if Saturn was home to negative beings, right? Saturn, the planet. Okay, so Neil wants to know, is Saturn home to negative extraterrestrials? It has been. It has been for a long, long time. Okay, Saturn has been connected to the black satellite, both the satellite that exists within our atmosphere, not within our atmosphere, outside of our planetary sphere, near the moon, and then of course corresponding to the black satellite that's coming from Orion. But bear in mind that recently the United Federation of Planets under the Jupiter Command and the Earth Alliance, we have recently neutralized and evacuated the negative beings in Saturn. I like this. Start thinking in terms of being a god and goddess, guys. All right, you are all powerful, all knowing, and everywhere at once. Start thinking that. Trust me, if you strongly believe that, your subconscious mind does not know the difference between fact and science fiction. So whatever you tell yourself on a deep subconscious level, it's what you're going to become. So yeah, stop thinking like a human. You're beyond a human, all right? It's actually demeaning to think yourself as a human, as a mortal. Start thinking as yourself. Start thinking yourself as a celestial, as a god and goddess, as an eternal being. With no limitations, guys. And trust me, you will unravel your own DNA faster than the solar flash. Yes, I agree. David Hake says there is nothing to fear. Absolutely, there isn't. Since I haven't been on for almost a week, I'm going to give you guys another 40 minutes just to make it a full 2-hour live. Okay, guys? I feel like, I owe you guys this 2-hour live because of the fact that I've been gone for the last week. But again, I attended the Biomed Alien Convention in Vegas. I went live, I believe, Saturday to give you guys a glimpse of, what some of the tables and some of the stuff that was there. I don't know if you guys had a chance to view that live. It was only like a 30-minute live, but again, I wanted to share a little bit with you guys. I wanted to share some of these new alternative technologies and inventions with you guys, which were pretty much awesome. And yes, I did try that thing that you put on. I guess you cover your eyes, you put this thing on, like it looks like a headphone thing, and then you put you lay back underneath this light and you close your eyes, and it literally releases the chemical substance known as what is it called, that hormone, guys, the HTP. I forget the name of it. They call it, what do they call it? Anyways, it's a natural way of experiencing multidimensionality, but without any psychedelics. Okay, guys, without any psychedelics. I was on the chair for about 5 to 7 minutes, and I did see a lot of geometric patterns. I saw a lot of lights. I saw that I was going through like an interdimensional tunnel, like a wormhole, and all of a sudden, like, I would end up in like different realities. So it was pretty interesting the way that thing activates your pineal gland, that naturally allows you to go beyond the third dimension and experience, different realms. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. DMT, thank you, Natalie Ann. I couldn't think of that. So that thing allows for DMT to naturally be secreted right within seconds, guys. So that was pretty cool. That was a pretty good experience. So I got to remember that word, DMT, right? And you know what, guys? I've never done magic mushrooms. I've never done ceremonial rituals. None of that stuff, okay? I've never done peyote. I've never done anything. I think, oh yeah, so when I was 18 or 17 years old back in high school, I think I tried LSD once. But I didn't have a good experience because it was super powerful and I ended up blacking out and ended up in the emergency room. So that wasn't a very good experience. But then again, I was only 17, experimenting with things. But no, I've never tried anything else. I'm going to be honest with you guys. As a visionary, as an abstract thinker, I've always naturally been like that, where I don't think I need any psychedelics to be, abstract, to be multidimensional, to have expanded consciousness. I do it naturally, guys. I do it naturally. And I think I've always been like that, even as a kid. All right, so Neo says, where can I find you speaking Spanish? So I have done some interviews with a Spanish-speaking lady by the name of Nikki Monique. Nikki, Niky, Monique. So if you guys go to her YouTube channel, Nikki Monique, I've done a few interviews with her in Spanish. I struggled, but she kind of assisted me in some of the words, and so yeah, I need more practice. Oh, this is a good question. Okay, so Ronnie, let's see, Ronnie Trainer says, "What is going to happen to those that are in prisons throughout the planet? In terms of when the solar flash takes place." Okay, so if there are people that are really changing their lives for the better, if they are no longer entertaining the criminal negative mentality, then they will at least make the fourth D Earth. Okay, they're going to be going into they're going to be shifting into the fourth D Earth. But if there are people that are still entertaining negativity, criminal mentality, are in there running drugs, killing people, gang fighting, then they're not going to make the new Earth or the fourth dimensional Earth. Apparently, they're going to be recycled into another Earth-like planet that is still undergoing the Dark Age, unfortunately for them. Yes, in the fifth D Earth, we will no longer need our cars, our telephones, our laptops, airplanes. We're literally going to be multi-dimensional beings, guys. We're going to be using our light body technology, our inner software, capable of teleporting, bilocating, telekinesis, telepathy. All that stuff is inherent in our dormant DNA. Yes, I think that because in the last few days we've all been bombarded by heavy CMEs, which is all leading up to the big one coming on the 23rd, I think, or any day now. Um, a lot of us are tired throughout the day. A lot of us want to take naps, throughout the day. We just want to lay down and do nothing. We get sleepy, we get lethargic. So that's normal. That's normal because your body's trying to adjust to the new vibrations. So that's very normal. Sandy, thank you so much for the donation, sister. And your question or your statement is, I am looking to experience or remember a download. Seems like many have experienced it. What can I do to accelerate one? Well, Sandy, that all depends on your quality, your meditation, and your quality of meditation. You know, are you meditating every day? If you guys want to get downloads and connect with your higher self, the best way to establish a relationship with your higher self, guys, is by quieting your mind. Learn how to quiet the chatterbox in your head, right? And I guarantee you will be getting transmissions and downloads. I know it's easier said than done, but guys, we have to discipline ourselves. We are living in the best times ever ever to exist on planet Earth. All right, so if you somebody says, what if we don't want to teleport? What if we like talking on the phones? Then I guess you could pop yourself into the fourth density Earth and explore talking on the phone or experience going on an airplane. But or in this case, it's not going to be an airplane; it's going to be a hovercraft. But if you don't want to use technology, then you pop back into the fifth D at Earth. That's the best way to describe it. All right, so somebody's asking me again if I could talk about the Emerald Order. Who are they and are they coming back? Well, like I mentioned before, guys, the Emerald Order are the interdimensional, intergalactic alliances of all the star races that are associated and serve the one infinite creator. That's the best way to explain it. They are known as the forces of light, the guardian races, the Christed races, the Soharian races, the indigo violet races. There's so many terminologies to describe them. So from the top down, we have the Council of One, which is associated with the fifth harmonic universe, where everything is operating as a unit of one. And then as we descend to the seven super universes, we have the Council of Seven, right? Seven major archetypes, the seven mighty Elohim. And then as we descend into the 12 major creations, we have the Council of 12. So the Council of One is prime creator source, is everything in its totality. And then after the Council of One, we have the Council of Seven, seven archetypes, the seven major spirits, the seven mighty Elohim, the seven ladies and lords of light, and so on and so forth, the seven super universes. And then as we descend into the realms of the local universes, we have the Council of 12. And then, of course, in each local universe, it breaks off from the Council of 12. It breaks off into the Council of 24, and then we get into the intergalactic alliances of the galactic and stellar races, which gives us the different councils like the Council of 9, the Council of 5, and so on and so forth. And they are all harmoniously working as one intricate cosmic administration. That's the best way to put it. Thank you for the donation, Cotran. Cotran, thank you so much. So apparently, a lot of people have been seeing shapes in the clouds, faces, clouds that look like angelic figures, clouds that look like big motherships and circles, right? So that should tell you guys that we are being assisted by our cosmic family of light. They've never forsaken us, guys. They've always been here, right? All right. When I go on my book tour in November, I'm going to start at the Stairway to the Stars Disclosure Fest convention. And then from there, I'm going to be continuing my book tour. So I'm going to be going to Vegas first. I'm going to be going to the Stairway to the Stars convention. I'm going to be there for 3 days. And then I think from there, I'm going to be going to Washington or Oregon. So I'm going to go north, and then I'm just going to go across the northern part of the United States. But I will let you guys know ahead of time as to where I will be and where I will be in the times, of course. It'd be great to meet some of you guys on my book tour. I like this. Julie Ben says, When they know you are ready, they will appear to you. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. I'm looking for really good questions, guys. All right, so this is an important question. Flip Flop Flyer, ACB, wants to know. Okay, hi Ishmael. My husband and I are being forced to move due to work. Is it going to be safe in the next 2 months? Um, well, I would say, I mean, if you're being forced to move like within the next 2 months, I would probably try to move uh like within the next few weeks if you can. Because as we go deeper into the month of October, things could be going down. Things could be going down. So yeah, I would definitely try to move like within the next 2 weeks. After the 23rd, of course. Let's just see what happens on the 23rd. Well, thank you for the compliment. Kim Thompson, thank you so much for the compliment. All right, so this is a good one. Will sleeping people know about the solar flash before it happens? All right, so you must be talking about the Earth Terrans that are totally hypnotized and unawake. I would say yes, because before the solar flash happens, and I think this kind of ties into the idea of the EBS, the big reveal on a public scale of reality, right? On a global scale, critical mass. So I think that's going to happen right before the flash to give the sleepers a chance to ascend into the new Earth. Yes, that's right. Jesus was the incarnating Zeus. Yes, and Lil Zeus, carrying a pure bloodline of Lyran Syrian, Anuhasi. All right, Kathleen Malanchi wants to know. She says, "Hello, Ishmael. If we go to the fourth or fifth dimension, could we possibly be in better surroundings? For instance, a better house." Yes, everything's going to change. Our houses, everything, our surroundings, it's all going to change. So everything's going to be much better in the fourth and fifth dimensional Earth. Again, guys, the difference is in the fourth dimensional Earth, things are going to be futuristic. All right, it's almost like Tartaria never fell. It's going to be like Tartaria, like Atlantis never fell. Only the good part, of course, the Golden Age. It's going to be fully intact. Lemuria is still going to be there as if it never fell. And our consciousness, our full consciousness, is going to be restored. So we're going to be able to become multidimensional beings if we are. Let's see. Thank you, Earth Angel 444. I appreciate what you said. And yes, guys, if you guys could all hit the like button, that would be great. Helps out a lot. Or smash it if you guys can. All right, Sandy, thank you for the donation. Any updates on the IRS? Well, like I said before, the IRS, just like the Federal Reserve, are not part of our Constitution. All right, they are illegal systems that were implemented by the corrupt, corporations that have been running this country. So when the EBS goes through and the new systems come out, the IRS is going to be abolished, along with the fiat system, and then of course the global currency system, the cryptocurrency, all that stuff's going to be abolished. So yes, we're going to be witnessing the end of the IRS because it was illegally ratified at the same time that they implemented the Federal Reserve back in 1913, and they did it the night before Christmas when everybody was distracted, of course. If you want to know more into how the cabal was able to implement the IRS and the Federal Reserve in 1913, there's a really good book that was written by what's his name? God, I can't believe I forget his name, but it's called Creatures of Jekyll Island. The Creatures of Jekyll Island. That's how the conspirators were able to illegally establish the IRS and, of course, the Federal Reserve. Was through, of course, conspiring for many, many years at Jekyll Island. And I think his last name is Griffin. Yeah, it was written by Griffin. So look up Creatures of Jekyll Island by J. Griffin, I believe. That was the author. It goes into detail. This is a good question from Songwriter. How many of you can go just one day without a cell phone? I could. I've done it before, guys, where I don't even, I put my phone down unless it's an emergency. And I've taken I've experienced moments where I put it down for like a whole day or 2 days. And I don't use it. It's good to get yourself used to not depending on your cell phone. That would be great if you guys could do that occasionally. Thank you, Laurie V, for the donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, that's right. G. Edward Griffin. Thank you, Ari. G. Edward Griffin was the author of Creatures of Jekyll Island, a very detailed book describing how the cabal kind of took us from within in the early 1900s, using Woodrow Wilson, who was, of course, the puppet president then, who sold us out to the corporations. All right. Mary wants to know if I'm going to be republishing my first book, The Secret Government. Well, I never found the file for it unless I rewrite it, which is probably going to take a long time. I don't think I'm going to do that, guys. I don't think I'm going to republish that book. Sorry. All right, this is a good one by Helen Infinity Light. Hi, Ishmael. Thank you for your time. You're so welcome, Helen. In the Egyptian times, were the deities integrating each other's energies? Well, it all depends. Were we talking about the golden age of Egypt, where the benevolent ETs, right, the celestials from Naturu, or also known as the Naturu from Orion, or the upper systems of Orion, hailing from the councils of light, from the Council of Orion, coming from the star systems of Mintaka, Al-Nalik, and An-Ninam, which are where the three main pyramids are aligned to. Yes, it was ruled by the benevolent watchers, right? Osiris and Isis. And then later, that age was overthrown by the Babylonian guard, Marduk, under his new name, Amun-Ra. Amun-Ra. And then eventually, that caused the golden age of Egypt to plunge into the dark ages. All right, guys, we're going to do 5 more minutes. It's almost at the 2-hour mark, and then I'm going to go ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and take some questions, guys. Take some final questions before we end. All right, Joyful, thank you for the donation. And your question is, Ishmael, are we going to be going into 4th D while waiting for 5D, the solar flash? Well, what if I tell you, Joyful, that we are already in the 4th D, consciously speaking, and some of us are actually already in the 5D, right? But yes, when our bodies become modified, right, the activation of certain dormant strands, we're going to know the difference. We're going to know that we are already in the 5D. So yes, we're going to actually skip the 4th D, guys. If you're a starseed, you're going to bypass the 4th D and you're going to go directly into the 5D. Okay, if you're an Earth Terran, you're going to be going up in increments. So yeah, you have to first go into the 4th D. My galactic heritage is cosmic. I was actually able to trace my origin all the way to the central universe, guys. But in this particular universe, I originated in Lyra, in the Vega star system on the planet Avion. All right, so Deirdre Ghana wants to know, when we are at the 5th dimension, will we be united with our higher self? Absolutely, we will. Or do we have to experience more creation? No. When we reach the 5th dimension, there is a fusion of your higher Holy Christ self and your lower self into one. And that's just the beginning. As we continue to ascend into the 6th dimension, 7, 8, 9, to eventually reach the 12th dimension, that's when we become one with everything. That's when the Atman, which is your Holy Christ higher self, becomes one with the Brahma, which is everything, the Brahma. All right, the Brahma and the Atman are one and the same, guys. Yes, always, before you go to sleep, always put yourself in a protective shield of light. Very, very, very true, guys. Yes, Ishmael, can you please tell us about the 3 days of darkness? Wants to know Renee Velasco. Well, it has been prophesied that we will experience 3 days of darkness. Now, it could be multiple things. It could be, symbolically speaking, when the White Hats through Project Oak Tree take over the airwaves, right? That could be 3 days of darkness, or it could also be when we fully are immersed in the photon band at the beginning of the Great Solar Flash. Perhaps there's going to be 3 days of darkness, right? If we're fully immersed through the back way of our solar system, or if we enter through the sun side of our solar system, meaning if the sun goes in first, fully into the photon band, then we're going to be experiencing 3 days of light, of just luminous light. But, this is biblical. It is very symbolic, guys. So I guess we're all going to find out. We're all going to find out what the 3 days of darkness is, which is going to be the precipice, of course, of the new heaven on earth that is going to be here for us to witness. All right, one more question, guys, and then we're going to be ending the live. We are exactly at 90 minutes in with 644 watching. Beautiful. No, okay, so Grant Wilson, this is a very good question. Is the central universe is God's own imagination? Well, if you think of God as eternal, right? Eternal light, you could say that yes, by virtue of that, it is eternal. And yes, of course, the local universes are the creations of the children of the central, the central consciousness that embodies the central universe. So in that regard, we could say that Michael, Faith, and the different celestial archetypes that oversee the different local universes are the firstborn extending from the always existing realms of the mother central universe. All right, guys, with that have said, thank you so much for being here. I love you all. We will see you on the next one. May the God Force be with you.